But one shocker question I want to ask is, what's the culture shock that you experienced? You know, in Yoruba land, you got to prostrate, you got to do all this stuff. You know, when you want to marry, I don't know if you prostrated with your friends and all this stuff. And what's one culture shock that you also experienced in the Igbo land? Like, I don't know. I'm even surprised that she can cook meals in your from your place,
She
and I think
does.
that's amazing. So, cultural shock, like, how do Igbos do things like this? Why do you bath children like this? Why do you? So, what's one thing that really shocked
Okay,
you?
so as I said, grew up in Lagos. Pretty much all of my friends are Yorubas, and
Okay.
then of course went to a church that was pastored and overseen by a Yoruba man. I mean, someone I still call it Father and the Lord Reverend Esua Jamie. So I didn't feel like I should have a culture shock. I
Mm,
mean, I prostrate when I need to prostrate and all
okay.
that.
Ah,
But the
wow.
culture shock came when we gave birth to our
Oh
twins
yeah.
last year. And that day, the next that I was hearing, I want to baby beji,
Yes.
ewa no man say beans,
Oshé.
and in my head I was like, oúnjẹ ìbejì, ewa ni. I mean, if you're listening and you do not understand Yoruba, they said the food for
For
twins
twins
is
is
beans,
this in the
and
Yoruba
and
land?
I was
Yeah.
like, okay, fine, okay, well maybe just a saying that they just say. It's not as if it's a this thing, and then on the day of the naming ceremony, we were there, and she she insisted. It's caused a quarrel actually
Wow.
because she insisted. The mom was saying that Mama say wow,
Ewa.
Mama, and in my head I was like, okay, why?
It's the
What is the
culture.
what is the
What is the
reason? Because
significance?
from where I'm from, yeah, I mean there are all that things that we got. What is the significance of
Beans.
beans? The boys that are just about 8 days old, how would they eat beans? But she insisted, but she didn't explain it to me.
Okay.
She didn't explain it to me, and we're arguing, and my mother-in-law, she was in the kitchen, and she heard. And I said, no,
No
eh?
beans.
Anything that does not have any explanation, especially does it negate my faith, because I was thinking, what kind of fetish thing is that? But
Oh.
she insisted we must cook beans. Why? Why should we cook beans? What is the significance? What is it? She said
Mm.
we shall must cook beans. Okay, say it now. But she wasn't saying. Okay, so my mother-in-law called and she was like, that the reason is that the beans is entwined,
Okay.
and the beans is entwined
In the pod.
in the
I
pod.
didn't know this. I'm a
Yeah.
Yoruba person. I didn't know that
Is
that's
entwined.
what was.
That thing, well, I won't
Yeah, yeah,
pour
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
It's actually entwined, and that
I don't
it
know.
brings good luck. It brings
Some
what,
sort of harmony
harmony in the
and
family, harmony between the children, and all that. And Ewabiju, must eat Ewabiju. I'm like, okay, fine, no problem. If that is the explanation, it's just a
okay.
peripheral culture thing that does not negate, as I said
The
earlier,
faith.
my understanding of how we should be as Christians.
Mm.
No wahala. My dear, my people, my Igbo
Igbo
people,
people.
my people from Umuawa, ate the beans
Hey, yeah.
very well. For me, that was a shock to me. I mean, I think
Mm.
some other things I could still,
Mm.
accept it and all those
Mm.
things. Okay, Kunjiba Lashamanshi and all
Yeah.
those things. But I was like, was okay. Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you see, that beans thing was a huge shock to me because
Mm.
waiting concern beans with twins, for
Waiting.
goodness sake. But with
Yeah.
the explanation of it, I do not have an issue. If you're
Mm.
out there, you still want to eat our beans, you can come to our house.
I will cook it. So
We'll cook it.
I felt like that cooking beans for twins was just a normal thing to celebrate it. There was one thing they do in my mommy's place. My mom is from Warri.
Yeah.
So when you have your baby, they pour powder on you
They
and
do
all
that
those
in my
stuff.
place as well.
So I found it as a anyway, my dad is Yoruba though,
Mm.
but I see it as, why are you pouring powder on everybody? So I felt it was just a way to, sort of celebrate them. So I still think maybe they might have some explanations for it though.
I feel the explanations to it. So they do it in my place, although we Christians try as much as possible to stay away.
Mm,
I think we stay away from that not because there's something wrong with it,
wrong with
but
it.
because we just feel that it's too extra. You understand? I mean, when Jesus was born, nobody poured powder on anybody. You
And we don't
understand?
know. The Bible didn't
Yeah,
record
the
it.
Bible.
The
As far
Bible
as the
didn't
Bible did,
record it,
as
so
far as the Bible did not record it, so that's just it. So
mm,
for me, that was just the culture shock.
mm.
That's just it. I don't know if she has a culture shock. So
Please, I'd
you,
love to hear
Uh,
from.
okay, for me, I'm yet to get one culture
Really?
shock.
Mm,
So, even as an Ada, if she's Ada, because she has gotten married, she doesn't have a say again in the family. And I'm like,
wow.
okay.
Wow.
yeah,
I'm like,
Wow.
okay, why? But she's supposed to be the first
Yeah.
daughter, the other,
Is she married to an Igbo person?
no,
and I
No.
know that
Yeah.
Ada,
I have a friend who is still single. She's an Igbo she's ready to come. She's not yet come to the fact that she can marry a Yoruba person because she feels the pressure on her to marry an Igbo person because it is the usual, like normal, culture. My friend is still single. People should leave her with this on her culture, I beg.
for me, the Ada thingy is something that has been there right from time. They said it's cultural, but it's changing right now. I mean, some years ago, some girls, because the idea is that when a man gives birth to just a girl, there are different
Mm,
cultures. A
yeah.
man give birth to just, ladies, and did not give birth to a man and he dies, all of his properties will go to the
His own
next
family.
male relative.
Wow.
You understand? But those people went to court, it got to the Supreme Court, and those things have been changing.
I've been
So, I
changed.
mean, they have been changed, especially with Christianity coming into it, and of course, civilization.
Mm,
All of these things has been changed, but it's still entrenched in some places there.
mm,
You understand? So they will tell you, you're not supposed to. I mean, as an Ada has a say in the family, eh, when it comes to some other things, but when it comes to the properties, an Ada will not necessarily share in
in the
that.
property.
So, as I said, there are a lot of these things
Yeah.
that are happening, and these are some of the things I will learn. I mean, our grandmother died earlier in the year, and
Mm.
I heard some things as well, and okay, uh, for me, I'm wondering why is it that there will be 3 days, then there will not be
7 days,
8 days, she 7 days now,
eight
be
days, 8 days,
8 days, then there will not be
41
42, she
days,
40, is it 41 days? I mean,
41 days.
I mean, there will not be 42 days, and I heard, and I'm like, okay, what is
I
what's
don't
the
understand.
existence of all of the days?
Oh my
Do you
god.
understand? And
So,
they are
oh,
of course, even from where I'm from too, they are how will I put it? There are a whole lot of this rule when it comes to burials, when it
no.
comes to marriage
Mm, mm,
and all that.
yeah.
For example, I've been told that I should bring her to the village. I mean, then we'll come, and of course, I would introduce her to the people, and there will be some this, there will be
Mm.
some that. See, these are just culture. But then,
Mm,
as I said earlier, as Christians, as far as those culture hmm, does not reduce me as an individual, does not negate my faith in Christ Jesus. No wahala.
no wahala.
Exploit.
Ba wahala.
Exploit, because exploring it would give you a greater idea. You will not be, I mean, the culture will be entrenched,
Mm,
and people will be like, okay, I mean, people, okay, she's trying to be us and all those things. So
yeah.
for me, it's not really a big deal, as far as I said earlier, as far as it does not negate my faith in Christ. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. So there will be shocks, right? It's not the way it is in your place that it will be. I mean, you guys are different human beings entirely, coming from different places. So, but I really like where the Jukwe makers came from. Like, make sure your faith align, make sure your values align, and make sure you're open to accepting this person, accepting them for who they are, accepting their family members. So, thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we catch you in our next video. Bye.